Monday, start of the week. We haven't really seen anything too crazy with the market if we really look. Still trading on an inside day compared to Friday. We had that Globex overnight inventory for the most part balanced, I would say. I know that it seems like a lot more time and volume spent below, but if we try to draw it about 50-50, the halfway point in Globex is here. And so it's about 50-50, I would say. Um, the market has put in a poor high and a poor low, which is just a sign of indecision. There's, basically just saying unfair high. People don't want to pay these higher prices. And same thing down here, lows, that sellers don't want to sell these lower prices. So we're, trading in a very choppy, balanced profile to get the week started, right? No conviction. And this is kind of what I was alluding to in the trade view. If you guys checked it out, is I know everything for the most part this weekend, at least every video that I saw on YouTube or every clip I saw on like the reels or whatever it's called, was the market's going to rally this week. It's certain, right? It's going to happen. So just be ready for it and buy the market. And I had put, well, let's let the market convince us that it's going to keep going up, right? Because it didn't convince us on Friday. It didn't convince me on Friday that it really wanted to go to the upside. The reason being is because we still have all this space above us, right? And we were very close to this level, and then you've got these two levels here. So this is the top of balance, and so it didn't make sense to me that the market just couldn't get going. And right, and then even Globex, right, couldn't break that previous day's high. That's that 40.45 that I'm really looking for to get above. And then up here, this 40.70, another level to establish above if we're going to continue any upside. The market just hasn't shown conviction yet, and that's, we've got to pay attention to value, right? Because that's what we're after here. We're not after what price is doing, after value. So if we look at value on Friday, look at value today, value so far is overlapping to lower, and we really haven't tested this upside yet. So for my plan is until the market gets up above this 45 at least, I'm not going to be sold on this market rally that everyone has really been kind of driving home. I think that because the market's coming down so much that people are just, ready for a little bit of upside, and that makes them a little bit more comfortable, a little bit less fearful to buy the market. And we know that most investors or most non-professional traders are buyers of the market and not sellers of the market. That's just a fairly normal thing. So morning Druther, morning Tommy, aloha Chris B, good morning Trin. So it just makes sense that the market really hasn't showed us that it has any conviction, and really until we break Friday's high at least, we're not really seeing any big conviction. We still have our CPI number up there. So that was that big sell-off from the CPI report. We still haven't got back above that and established. And what it looks like to me here, a lot of times, and this was what I was talking about in the trade view as well, is this this day here, which is the 9th, opened here, popped up, and then sold off. Same thing here on the 10th, opened, popped up, and then sold off for the rest of the day. And then the same thing here. Where was the open on the 11th? Was where was it? Oh, it was much lower. Okay, yeah, open down here, yeah, and then rallied all the way towards that same spot, and then ended up selling off, closing the day on the low, and then we had that big move down to the low side. So today you really just got to be patient, and might be one of those days where you just don't take any trades, or you just kind of let the market figure out what it wants to do, until it really decides what it's got in store. We just kind of have to stay patient let it work itself out. Not much news today either. We do have Pal coming on tomorrow. Maybe a possible special guest tomorrow as well. Over the guy over from Pirate Trades might join us tomorrow if he's available, and just go over and talk about some just talk about how we utilize the profile, how our approaches differ, maybe how they're similar, and just overall just talk about the market in general. Should be a fun conversation. And he's also a student of Jim Dalton, so it should be pretty pretty good. I like talking to other people that have been through the Jim Dalton courses and stuff, and see what they grasp from it, right? Because everybody is gonna learn differently or be able to understand things differently, so interpret differently is what I mean. So there's looks like a larger order sitting right on the 40 or the 4,000 here, about 300 lots, 298 lots. Pretty far away from the price here, but just kind of popped in. If we take a peek around the market real quick, we can kind of see that the breadth has flipped to red. They were both red, and then they're both green, and then they were 50-50, and now they're back both to red. Not really anything crazy as far as trending, right? So it's just 1-to-1, or just barely under 1-to-1, about 1.5-to-1. Apple being our big loser today, I guess, that and Tesla. We can see Apple here compared to Friday still hasn't broken that Friday low, but has kind of made lower highs all day today. Microsoft hasn't got beat down as bad, and neither has Google, right? Google's just kind of hanging out. Tesla coming down below Friday's low, getting a little bit of a bounce. One thing I do kind of want to show you guys is if we look at this chart here, and these dots are just fractal dots that I added this weekend. I'm just going to look at them. I haven't done any like back testing at them, but I'm just kind of paying attention to them to see if they give me anything. But anyway, so let's look at Apple, right? Apple has come down and is starting to form a P-shaped profile, which is just telling us that this bounce might just be short covering. So Apple will be important to monitor going forward. Microsoft looks the same. Google looks more like balance. So Google looks like it's finding its feet a little bit and still kind of respecting this upper trend besides that peak below that we had there. Amazon is starting to try to move up off of the low, still trying to extend, but may also start to form a P-shaped profile. And this is on a daily, so a longer time frame than intraday. Tesla looks exactly the same, like a P-shape. Facebook looks like it's trying to hold in range, right? We can kind of see that it's just getting tighter and tighter as it gets down here. And then Netflix, right? Netflix just looks, like complete shit. So basically what I'm getting at is this bounce, when we look at a lot of our big sector movers, is for the most part, unless we get a move back up into upper value on a lot of these stocks, short covering, right? At least in some of the bigger names. And that's just something that we want to be paying attention to. We can see NASDAQ has made a lower high now, or well, yeah, kind of lower low. I mean, or communication services is still kind of holding compared to Friday. Consumer staples is still holding compared to Friday. Financials is looking weaker than Friday. Consumer discretionary is looking weaker than Friday. Tech is still holding about balance, not stronger or weaker, just kind of right in the middle. And healthcare looking a little bit better, right? Healthcare has been green all day. So starting to get a little bit of gas here. See if the market wants to go back above the open. Looks like you're in timeout. Why is that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know why it has you. Oh, maybe you were joined before, and I didn't press admit all. I just pressed no waiting room. You should be good now. Not bad. No, I've never put you in timeout. And then I have this alert. If we take a peek at Bitcoin here, I have this alert basically just at that excess on today's session from yesterday's CME open. What's that noise? Oh, fuck. I'm trying to check this message real quick. Pop, you should be good now. Yeah, so basically I have this alert down on this Bitcoin swing low because unless we break that swing low, I think that the market might just hold this level for a while. This is kind of my level that I'm thinking, you know, if there's supply, if there's some Bitcoin sellers in, that this low shouldn't hold throughout the day. If it does hold throughout today's session, I think tomorrow there's probably some upside, or maybe even later today in the Globex or overnight session. If it does break, you know, we'll be looking for them to test that previous low down here, which looked to me kind of like a poor low, but it looked like a poor low that supply just ran out. So another area where sellers are you know, in a difficult position, in my opinion, to move down and sell. Right, we've kind of established this, you know, temporary low down here from the 12th. That's what it was. Or was that the 11th? No, the 12th. There you are, pump. If we go to ETH, right, ETH is kind of in that same range. You can see on the daily, just kind of balancing, just back and forth. So this will be our daily balance. We mark our daily balances in blue. And so we'll just kind of wait for it to get close here to low of the balance, look for selling to run out, and, you know, look to trade back up to that weekly view up where that seller's been active, you know, for forever, basically. ETH hasn't had a very decent chance to get above that weekly view up since, you know, back in March. Pretty much all month they've just been selling off that weekly view up. Yeah. I was actually looking at AMD this week. Yeah, so AMD is establishing kind of above our buy zone, but it's also in this balance. Fairly big balance too. We can kind of see, like, I mean, a wider range because of the volatility, but the key here is that establishment under or above that 93.49. If AMD keeps establishing above that 93.49, it's going to look to test this gap at $100, right? And the big thing that makes me think that it wants to go up there is one, it's tapped it once, it's tapped it twice. So it would make sense unless we see selling move down and we get back into this, and these two red lines were my buy zone on AMD. If we get back into this zone a third time, you know, it can kind of make these lows a little bit weaker. To me, I liked that excess on the low here, and I feel like even just one more test up at the 100 before it sells off would make sense, just to maybe fix that gap. There is a lot of previous lows at this level, so you know, if it did have a destination, that would be the destination. Of course, the rest of the market's going to have to participate as well. Yep. Let me look on the intraday. Yeah, so it looks like it pulled down a little bit past that pullback low from Friday, and then decided to make a newer high, left a poor high behind. Coming kind of back into volume here. Right. Yeah, it's trying to ride a trend to the upside a little bit, looks like. Yeah, it's interesting too, because the market, I mean, really value is overlapping to lower and developing a lot lower now here, as this D period really hasn't got a chance to get this upside. That D high is fairly questionable, pretty close to the open. That's about a point below. But I mean, value is definitely down. Right. Yep. So it looks like a little bit of buying is trying to come in right here. The overall volume today is just, you know, pretty unimpressive, if I'm being honest. Um, there it is. Yeah, it's about 20% less than it was on Friday. So it's, I mean, Friday was about 20% less than Thursday, and then today we're having another 20% less day here. And seeing some selling come in here too, right after the buyers tried it. On that push down right there, there was a lot of selling, but it just didn't go anywhere. And now the breath on the NYSE is flipped back to green. Hey Cam, how's it going? Let's see what the next week brings. Yeah. Let's see if they got people like the retail crowd bearish enough to start selling crypto to the rich, and the rich just can buy it up. No, Tommy, actually today on a day like today, basically what I do is I avoid um this center period altogether. I just stay out of this and just wait till we get something like this. Try to get short and then use the high or the low as my stop. Um I just try to get, try to get in as close as I can at the low and try to get in as close as I can at the high and just try to revert it back to the mean and then use a nice tight stop on the edge just so if it goes against me, it's just out quick. That's pretty much all I've been doing today. So like right now I'm long from 88.50. I closed one at 95.50. I closed another one at 99.50 and I still have two more that I'm holding. Shakif on Facebook, thank you for the follow, my man. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that either, Tommy. Like just staying out of it because it just hasn't shown us the conviction, right? Like, everyone in the market is looking for the upside, so I think there's a bullish mindset today. And so, I do think that if there is some bigger money buying that comes in the market, I think we could probably see a bigger move and this thing could easily turn into a trend day. I mean, we've stayed within. I know that it's not something that Jim Dalton uses, but that initial balance, right? And a lot of times when we have a narrower initial balance, and this is, I know 40 points, but comparative to our most recent profiles of being of 100 points, and we're 2.5 hours in now, it's pretty narrow. So a lot of times when something like this happens, the uh, pressure gets built up, so to speak, right? So you've got a lot of people doing these trades on both sides, a lot of people doing these trades on both sides, and we know that it's shorter term money, right? We got a poor high and a poor low, so we know that there's not enough sellers to break the low and there's not enough buyers to break the high. So whenever this longer term time frame trader decides to come in to move the market, it could expand the market drastically. And what I'm thinking is if it does break the upside, there will be a longer move upside. Whereas I think if it does break the downside, I think it'll be bought up more just because of the overall sentiment, at least to me, seems that the retail crowd is ready to buy the dip. And then honestly, the longer that we end up balancing in this previous balance area, right? The longer we end up balancing in this previous balance area, the more comfortable I think that buyers step out and the move can get kind of, or step in, I mean, not step out of the sidelines, step into the market, and the moves can get bigger and bigger. We take a peek at the VIX today. The VIX is down about 1%. It's at 28, so it's actually below 30, and it's the first time it's been below 30 in a little while here. And that's just kind of what I'm trying to pick up on is the overall psychology of our competitors today. What are they doing? And what's big money wanting to do? And we got 5 TPOs down here at the low. The breath is going to flip. Yeah, I mean, today is just, there's just no conviction from either side yet. Really, like, stuff wants to sell and then moves down, and then that's it. Gets covered up, and then boom, back to, I mean, basically back to the middle. It is important to note too, though, that there has been selling on this open, right? So whoever is selling today has been active around this open, and that's kind of why the market isn't going above. So if it does break, look for that open to flip, right? Look for these sellers that were selling the open to start buying the open, and that's how the market's going to push up. If they're able to just keep selling the open all day, then I would look for a later day liquidation break down to the low side if they can't get it back above that open all day. That's just showing weakness in buying. The open's 403 quarter. There it goes. So this 86.75, 86 level, well, basically, yeah, like 86 to 85 has been a big level lately. Nasdaq came like really close to its low, but didn't break the low yet. Still looks like it's heading down though, for now. Apple. Apple seems to be balancing a little bit higher off of its open. Apple looks like it's getting some gas here, actually. So watch here again, as the market comes up, as it gets close to the open, our buyer is going to step up and take that open. That's going to be the key here. If they can still, or if buyers still are not able to get above that open and turn the tides a little bit, or at least show that they are out in the water, you could see a flush maybe down to like the 80 uh, level. 83 to 80 maybe. Buyers are trying to step up here. Looks like they try to step up right here on the 95. Some sellers on the 00, they got picked up. Still selling that open. Starting to see some green here. There's the open. So look for them to flip here. If these sellers that were selling the open flip, it'll probably take us up to the 10. Whereas that's that overnight point of control. And then maybe some more sellers there. They're still trying to sell this open though, or sell this open. What a slow, boring market today, it feels like, just not really much going on here. Yeah. Yeah, there's just no conviction. Everyone's like, nope. Everyone seems like they want to buy, but they all just seem also afraid. They're like, I want to buy it, but I don't want it to go down. Yeah. So the market is just, I mean, it's just holding here right below this 4,000. So it makes me think that these buyers are just kind of piling in here and they want to take it back above that open. And that E high is, very mechanical sitting off that C half back. Watch as it comes back down to this point of control here, this 96. Yeah, so volume just back and forth, back and forth. Buying and selling starting to look weak here, at least as far as aggression. Buying's being a little bit more aggressive, it kind of looks like, but not by much. Getting back close to that open. Look for them to try to run this thing back up to that 10. We got to capture that 3/4 first, but sellers are looking at right on the open. This E high just looks mechanical, right? That, I mean, one tick off the C half back, one tick above the open. Definitely seems like sellers are really trying to be active at this open and hold it below. Might just be stuck. Watch for the 10 here. That's where their target will be, is the 10. Oh, so close. There's a 10. So watch for a backtest of that 350. That could be a good spot if they go to try to fill in some of this weak spot. I mean, there's a lot of volume already traded there, so they might not need to, and you might just get this continuation here to the upside. The next target's going to be that 1375, right? That's the last, and then the 1975 to settle. Of course, that poor high up here is going to tell us if there is any conviction in the market. With the tempo picking up like it is on the upside, if the tempo continues to speed up as we get close to this high, that won't be a fade I'll be looking to take. Especially just because I think the sentiment is bullish today. I'm just being very careful with, long trades or short trades. That 40-10 is a big interaction level here, it seems. Spent a lot of time there on that blowbacks, and it's really close to that Friday's point of control as well. So they didn't really auction back very far. Getting up there. There is 300 lots sitting on the 10, so they're gonna have to get absorbed or lifted here by buyers if buyers are gonna continue to take price up. Looks like some good buying coming in. Glittering in, glittering in. All right, it's on you guys now. Check out the 10. You guys got to continue taking us up. I don't have any more juice left. It could just fade right back down from here, right? That might have just been a big profit taking spot where these sellers were just looking to close their position at. The key will be that 3/4, right? If the buyers are able to stay above that 3/4, there should be good moves or good continuation to the upside. Remember, look for the 1375, then the 19, what is it, 75. Would be their targets for continuation. And then Friday's high is 36, 40, 36. It's having a tough time going up one tick right here, guys. Because I have a take profit on the 12 quarter and I have not got filled. Struggling hard right here. It's not bidding back down though. There's a lot of trading up here, so it's just having a tough time. Someone's trying to absorb up here. There's 1,100 contracts, 1,200 contracts traded all on the ask. So someone's just lifting the offer, trying to push this thing past. There we go. So watch this 12 level. That was a big level. So if it doesn't hold this 12 level, or it should, we should see at least around this 12 level, 12 to 10, should hold this 12 to 10 level if it wants to get continuation to the upside. That E high is fairly mechanical. Go back to this 12-10 level. Back up. See if they want to go for that settle here. We can see the volume coming in, right? So we can see all of this volume coming in up here. It's just we're not getting any advancement. So this is going to become a key area. This kind of 12 to 10 area is an area if we don't see initiated buying up here above value, then there's good odds that this thing will fade back to the mean. There we go. There's some buyers. Buyers still lifting the offer here. Not able to break the settle here. Watch that 12 to 10 if it bids back down. There's 200 lots sitting on the 20. They're just right above the settle. So it looks like there's somebody wanting to sell this settle. So another mechanical seller up higher. Let's see if they go up there and grab that liquidity real quick. Buyer's still trying to step in. Oh, Biden's on right now. He's not saying anything interesting though, so more of the same as last week. So they're trying it here. Let's see if they can get back above. There's that volume sitting on the 20 that looks like probably a spot where maybe some buyers are looking to take profit up here. There it goes. So here comes the key point. Are we going to get continuation, or is this thing going to fade back down? This is going to be the key level here. The tempo kind of slowed as it got up here, right? The volume got really thin. It just kind of broke it. Now we're one tick below the C high. C high is one tick below the B high. Just the poorest of weak lows here. You can kind of see where it's forming here, right? You kind of see this is where sellers are trying to move down to sell in this 16. This 12 to 10 is where buyers stepped up. We're starting to get our little half pipe here. So over that, buyers step in. They'll be looking for that high. And then the next target for them is going to be previous day's high, Friday's high, and then Globex high. Nasdaq is looking like it wants to go up as well here. And look how thin it is below that 10 in that last period, right? So we have kind of like this 12 to 10 cluster, and it gets really thin until it gets back down to that 4,000. So if the profile were to stay balanced, it seems like this area here where there's weak volume would be a spot that it would look to go back to repair the structure. Bitcoin coming right into its point of control for the day. Rotation factor, Cam. So rotation factor is just telling us, and I have it actually on my chart as well. So rotation factor is 2 right here, right? And so basically what we do is we take every bar and you get a +1. So we start with A period. A period starts us at 0. So we get a +1 in B period for not breaking the A low, and then a +1 in B period for breaking the A high. So we're at +2. That would take us to +2. And then with C period, we didn't break the B high, so that'd be -1. And we didn't break the B low, so that'd be +1. So that would, basically null and void. D didn't break the C low, or did break the C low and didn't break the C high. That'd be -2. Now we're back to 0. And then E period so far has us at not breaking the D low, but breaking the D high. And that gives us back to +2, which is our rotation factor. And that's just kind of saying that the market has so far rotated up more than down. That's basically it. Not as useful as you would think. Even if you slow it down on lower time frames, it's still not as useful, because I know a lot of people use it on like 1 minute candlesticks and try to chase trend that way. But really it's just kind of showing the work of the market, right? So one thing we ask ourselves every day is, what is the market trying to do, and is it doing a good job of what it's trying to do, right? And so if the market's trying to go up, then the rotation factor should be all positives. If the market's trying to go down, then the rotation factor should be all negatives. And we see today so far fairly balanced as of what's going on. So no real good information from that, to be honest. There they go. A lot of buying coming in the market. Nasdaq's popping up. Unable to get up there. They just got to find some friends up here and push this thing down. Let's see if they're going to get the follow through. Oh shit. How long ago since we had a Biden speech fake out rally again? I believe last month. Buzz, what's up, man? Yeah, I mean, a lot of times we've been getting this Biden pump and then a dump. But we haven't seen I haven't seen any follow through yet. Now the market's going to look to hold above this 1375 here. Good buying coming in. Let's see. Remember what we talked about? Like if there is a breakout, it could be of a runner because of kind of the built up steam inside the early session. And so this could turn into a trend day to the upside. So if you are short, and you know, if you're maybe using like a wide stop or something, just be careful here because this could turn into a trend day easily if any volume comes in. Not that it's gonna, just something to, you know, something you've got to be aware of all situations when you're trading, right? It just gives it right back up. So look, just comes right down back in. That is just too funny. So there's just no conviction. These people, that's it. I closed my long. I'm done with it. I closed my last one right there on the 12. What is this? 1275. I had my last long trailing right there, and that's it. That might be it. 3.25 point. Yeah, so just more choppy chop here. Nothing too impressive from either side. I mean, we did get some buying showing up here. They were able to run those stops at the top, but then nobody was able to come in. So basically we're just looking here. I mean, F period did we'll look for it to come back to this like kind of 10-12 level. Kind of what I'm waiting for. It came back down to that 10, but I want to see it hold this 10-12 level and then give some more confidence to that upside move. Yeah, watch this 1210 level as it's kind of just settling around here. All this action around the last, just try to ignore. There's people trying to pick a side here and going back and forth and stealing ticks on the left and the right. Or I guess the top and the bottom. That's how you look at it. So back through that 10, starting to pick up a little bit of selling here. Let's see if they have any downside conviction and try to take this thing back down to the mean. Watch Bitcoin too. I'm still looking to see if Bitcoin breaks this low. If Bitcoin never breaks this low, it's gonna be hard for me to get bearish on the ES. Not that it's always leading, but just lately the correlation between Bitcoin and the ES, and Bitcoin's been the one leading the charge. So it's just something that I'm not going to ignore until it stops working. Right? It doesn't always work like that, but when we're able to notice stuff like that or find stuff that is able to give us, you know, a little bit of an edge, that's never something to shy away from until it stops working, right? Let me tell you what, nothing really just beats like a classic glass of Folgers, you know? Right? Well, I guess a cup, but some things just don't, you know, they're just good every time. Yeah, not much conviction here. I mean, we are seeing a positive breath. Drag this over real quick. You're seeing a positive breath on the NYSE. The Nasdaq's still red. Information technologies flipped green. Consumer discretionary and financials still red. Um, consumer staples is green. Energy, materials. So what we're looking for today, and kind of what I was alluding to in the trade view as well is the rotation, right? I said rotation in there, and so this is kind of what we're seeing. We're seeing that rotation into healthcare today, so that's not too bad, right? A little bit of communication services. Verizon has some news out today. TNT is probably getting some love on the back of that Verizon news. Energy still green. People are still, you know, this is kind of the fear sector. People still a little bit scared over here, but we are getting a little bit of rotation out of tech, and all the rotation was into tech on Friday, so that makes kind of sense. not really getting beat down that bad. You can see Apple's down less than 1%, Microsoft down less than 1%, Google barely over, Tesla down 4%, kind of the big loser of the day, but nothing really getting beat down very harshly today. Yeah, BLK down 2%, BKNG down 2%, Ford, GM both down 2%. So there's probably, I mean, it looks like the automotive or car section has been kind of beat up a little bit today. Starting to see the market turn a little bit lower now here. And remember, their goal will be to push back to that open. Really watching this Bitcoin low here. And remember, Pal's on tomorrow too. So, and we're in balance. So, I mean, there is opportunity to just this thing that just balances all day, right? Miko or Miko, dogs, yo, what's up, man? So volume is picking up a little bit, right? Where, I mean, we're still 16% less than we were on Friday, but a little bit more as far as the day goes. Still nothing impressive at all. You think crude will fall anytime soon? I hate these gas prices. Well, the thing is like, if we take a peek at the CL chart real quick, AMD is coming back down to its trend line as well. But if we take a peek at this CL, seeing a little bit of selling all over. Oh, it's the wrong one. Future. Um, we're kind of just in this, bigger balance right here. This is a daily, but you could probably draw this balance that we've kind of been in. This is kind of the range that we expect. But even when prices came back down to these 93 levels, gas prices didn't drop. Face of Crypto, what's up, my man? Happy trading to you as well. Thank you. Gas prices didn't drop. So the only way that gas prices are going to significantly drop is if the oil prices get back below $90 and start to go down. And I'm looking maybe if they head down towards 66 might be a decent spot for support for oil for now. I don't know how much they are going to go down. I think that this breakout here on oil is going to be fake. If it does break out, I think a lot of it will be sold, unless there is news coming forward out of the global conflict that's going on. But without more news coming out of that, I doubt that we're going to keep seeing these higher prices. Energy is doing well naturally because it's the summertime, so of course people are using more energy. People tend to be more active during the summer months, and so they tend to use more energy if they're just sitting at home. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I just don't, I honestly don't even think if oil prices drop, let's say if oil prices drop back down like 96 level, I don't think you're gonna see it at the pump very much. It's really gonna be um higher energy prices until the market calms down. That's when I think you'll start to see it a little bit. But until then, I doubt that you will get any uh people feeling comfortable, right? These big conglomerates, how do you say that, conglomerates, these oil companies, and uh they're going to keep charging these gas prices until they feel comfortable charging lower prices, because they know where their next their re-up is going to be coming from. F low is pretty mechanical here, right on the E half back, couple ticks above the open as well. Value still overlapping to lower today. And if you look kind of where the market's getting stuck at, especially if we zoom out a bit here, you can kind of see, if you remember, we had that gap earlier that was from 4014, so roughly around here, right where the top is at, and right where the kind of the top of this balance is at, up to the 37 here, right where our CPI number was at. And so if the market's able to get above that and establish, should be looking at these highs and then possibly a test of this VPOC up here at 4120. Bitcoin's still not breaking that low. Thanks for the input. It's been cutting into my income. I drive for DoorDash and I take premium. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, and I heard DoorDash is actually trying to improve for their drivers at least. I know Uber's kind of getting clapped because they, I don't know, they did something, I guess, that uh, DoorDash did differently. Oh, I did see. Um, Jared actually sent me this video. Let me share it with you guys. Pretty interesting technology. Um, Send it to myself on Discord. I'll just post it in Discord actually, and then I'll just pull it up. Here, let me make this. Um, Let me make sure the sound is working real quick. Clear the sound. Okay. Should be good.
fresh, hot, delicious meals, never leaving the car or digging for cash in the time you watch this video. How? Speedy Eats, an automated drive-up kitchen with drinks, sides, condiments, and options from barbecue to pizza, ready in under 20 seconds. There goes the first car. Unlike other automated food kiosks that can take 3+ minutes to get food, Speedy Eats is designed to serve communities in high traffic outdoor areas like empty parking lots with lightning speed. You can pick it up or have it delivered. For today's fast-paced and sometimes cranky world, it's all automated, so there's no service interactions. Perfect for a low-patience day.
Our AI anticipates when and how much food should be in our warmers for immediate access, and also when to be idle for a small energy footprint.
The markets for both quick service meals and delivery are enormous, and Speedy Eats is positioned to make a dent in both by utilizing already open space, easy operation, and low overhead. We also see future models with convenience store items and fridges with salads and wraps.
With the initial $500,000 already raised, we've built a working 2-scale prototype and are currently creating software to improve customer experience. There are opportunities for you to become an investor or an operator.
Join the momentum as we launch a convenient, hassle-free way to get a meal you really want to eat. Speedy Eats, it's good food, fast.
Yeah, so just something that Jared sent me that I thought was kind of interesting, the technology itself. I am going to do some more digging into the company just to see like what the overall costs were, because I'm sure there's some costs that are probably not included, like the space. If you were able to identify a if you're able to not identify, but if you're able to lock in a contract with like a college or something, that would be, you know, like basically like a bigger vending machine that you could drop off that would probably get utilized, you know, fairly efficiently in a high traffic area. The issue is when you're dropping it off in a place where it's not going to have foot traffic, it is going to be difficult because people aren't really going to know it's there. So when you drop a new one, unless it takes off and you like reserve the space and get an address and all that shit, people aren't going to be Googling it, so they're not going to know it's there unless they actually see it. And you'd want to get a spot where you'll see it failed in Kickstarters 2 years from now. Yeah, the interesting thing to me is the technology behind it, because that's really what most of these companies are. It's just that technology. So if they have that technology inside that, you know, what I just don't see why in a college cafeteria that those things aren't just in there. You know what I mean? It just makes sense. So like I said, I think if that company is able to partner with colleges or get a contract to be at, you know, X amount of colleges inside their cafeteria or either outside in their quad area, it could get a lot of traffic and you could see some traction later on. You know, people are lazy as fuck, and I never underestimate people's laziness ever, because some people are just, you know, worthless. And really, I mean, all they would have to do would be to, you know, reach out to me, explain their tech to me, and then I could go talk to the colleges, and I'm pretty good at stuff like that. And I enjoy it, so I feel like there could be some possibilities there. And it just takes one. So you've got it. The way that I look at it is I look at it from a perspective of a leadership role in a college, right? And believe it or not, if any of you guys have ever worked in a higher management position or a senior leadership position, the things that we're charged with when we're in these senior leadership positions is to save the company money, right? That's one of the key things that we're graded on. Like, how did we save the company money? What did we make to make the company more efficient, to make it perform better? So saving money is out there, right? And a lot of times, unfortunately, especially where I come from in the healthcare field, it is saving on cutting corners of not giving MRIs and shit like that, right? There's a lot of that in the military. But from the business standpoint, if you are, in one of these senior positions at a college and you're able to cut costs of the cafeteria, by exponential percent and still keep it open 24 hours a day because you're having these automated machines, that seems like some a ticket that people would buy. Market's still just kind of sitting here, right in the middle, really right around where all this action went through Globex as well. Kind of fixed that weak low that we had, or that mechanical low that we had on that F low. Came down a little bit below the open, and then is starting to develop a little bit higher here. I think it's only 9:30. Isn't it crazy how slow it feels that the market is moving when we're not getting volatility, right? How patient you have to stay, because and this is really that true test. This is where a lot of traders get into a lot of trouble, because they just get bored, or they get frustrated, and um like they just they feel like they have to trade. There's like, why am I even sitting here just watching this if I'm not trading? This is a waste of my time. When in reality, basically what that's saying is like, practice is a waste of your time. Watching game film is a waste of your time, right? So when you say stuff to yourself like that, if you do, it's a mind trap, right? And that's what's going to get you to overtrade and not stay patient and wait for these key setups. You know what I mean? Today I've traded a total of 14 lots. And that's it, right? So and there's no, and I did good. There's no reason to sit here and just try to like trade a million lots and trade one tick up and two ticks down, and 1 point up and one tick down. It's a lot easier and a lot less stressful to just be patient and wait to for the trade to come to you. Would you buy 20 of them? 20 what? Oh, 20 of Luna. Oh shit, what am I can't even read. 20 of Luna. Let's check it out. Getting a little bit of a bounce here. Let's watch and see if they want to keep pushing this thing up. Spot here. It just seemed like a lack of supply up here. As an esports, watch and learn from the best. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, and there's tons of that stuff. Right. Exactly, Daniel. Exactly. Because not everything that I do is going to work for you, right? And not my interpretation of the profile is going to work for you, which is actually going to be kind of cool if that pirate trader guy is able to come on the stream tomorrow to give us his kind of interpretation and what he looks for at the profile, or is just how he interprets the two-way auction process. Can give us that other perspective. And then we've seen other perspectives in here. We have the 3 a.m. trader who is, he's more of a shorter term trader than I am, but he's very in and out, and he's not addicted to being right or wrong. He just knows, to go for it. BTC just hanging out below value, no sellers to push it further. VPOC from 2 days ago. Yeah, it does look like that. And this is that key level for me is gonna be that 29. Or it's kind of just a swing low, really. I just have the alert down there so I can pay attention to it once if it breaks. I know a lot of people bought Luna recently for like 0.0001. Holy shit. I mean, it bounced pretty good, but I mean, what's $20 of Luna getting you? They're pretty, like 1 million coins or something. It's getting a lot. I'm reading the CBO2 book on market profile and have a problem understanding the terms minus development and emerging activity. Let me look just so I can see where he's talking about that. Minus development. I'm just pulling up the PDF right here. God damn, it takes forever to load this PDF. Oh my god. Let me just open it in the desktop app. There we go.
Apple seems to have hit earlier lows.
Apple is?
Yeah, it's down to 1.1 negative.
Oh yeah. It's still up though. Still got a little ways to go till it gets to its low of the day, about another $1.50. If it starts to go fast though, it could definitely bring the rest of the market down for sure. It is looking like it wants to.
That was a heck of a bounce though.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so now it's back below the open. There's some continuation here. Still about 20 minutes left. So minus development, I'm trying to look at like where you're probably looking at it in the PDF. It's basically just saying that, you know, I mean, kind of similar to what we have going on here, where we have kind of this this point of control, and it's kind of forming right on the top, right? We've had these kind of 3 days, and if this day were to form and it would just keep kind of forming lower, or even just balancing here but balancing lower, that would kind of be what you're seeing. Basically, it's just telling us that we're not seeing any continuation to the upside, and every day is getting a little bit incrementally lower or staying within that kind of same range. Emerging activity is really just kind of telling us that I'm not sure where it's at in the PDF, or what page you're looking on in the PDF, but emerging activity is just kind of showing us, oops, if we look at the profile today, you can kind of see, I mean, there's 5 TPOs here, 6 all the way down to here, and then 5, looks like 5 below here. Well, it's right here really. But so we don't really have any emerging activity, right? Emerging activity is kind of, I guess, similar. A way to think about it would be like a double distribution, but doesn't necessarily always have to be a double distribution as far as like having single prints in the middle. Imagine if we had some TPOs down here, we traded up a little bit, and then started to form some more TPOs up here. This would kind of be that emerging activity. So we had balance, imbalance, and then emerging activity that's showing that buyers are stepping up. In this case, that buyers are stepping up and the market's starting to balance higher, right? In that example, page 193. Let's go. What the fuck is the internet being all shitty? Yeah. So it'd be the same kind of idea for either or, right? So, you know, let's say if today's balance stays kind of like this, and then we have a period that comes down like here and then start to form here, this area here is going to be that minus development because it's going to be thin, right? So let's say if it were to be forming here and then so let's say same idea, but this time it's not overlapping, right? It's thin, even if it has, you know, even if it has kind of 2 single prints or 2 TPOs, I mean, that can still be that minus development. So emerging activity would be here. There goes that low on Bitcoin. Doesn't look like it took it. Oh shit. Ugh, I think I just ruined the internet. Yep.
Press Control Shift Escape.
Yeah, it's Thinkorswim. That's just sucking down all my memory. But I mean, it's not like only 36 memory, 36 CPUs getting used. So
Well, but how much of your 36% of your memory doesn't mean it's not using swap. Swap is the enemy of all things computer related.
I don't know. So like a different term for single prints, kind of like that, but you're looking at that minus development as far as like, so imagine that the profile, imagine we went here, right? So we're trading kind of balance, it trades up, and then we start to go up here. So we have this kind of emerging activity up here, and then imagine it trades kind of back through this and then starts to balance back lower. So you're going to have 2 TPOs in a row here, 2 TPOs in a row here, 2 TPOs in a row here. And this is just a figure, not saying, you know, there is no exacts, but this is going to be that minus development because we are, there's no good structure there. Kind of like imagine today if this area, so imagine if G didn't come back through here, we'd have the weakest spot of the profile would have been 1, 2, 3 TPOs here until F and G came back down. Whereas we have 4 up here, 4 down here, 4 plus up here. So this would have been that minus development, and sometimes can act as a spot that the market needs to go back and retest to build support higher. I don't know what's going on with this, so it's kind of weird that I think it's just my internet, to be honest. Everything else seems to be still working. What's up, Dad? Yeah, no volume.
So is that a browser over on the right?
This is like
Yeah.
a desktop app. I probably could pull the Google version of it up.
I would say you could probably close it and reopen it, and it would probably fix your problem. It looks like a display issue. Because it didn't say that the task was stopped.
Yeah, not much activity on the market cam, that's for sure. Almost 3 a.m. All right, have a good night, man. Thanks for tuning in. Almost up 10 points. Nice. Good stuff.
Can you try opening that in a browser? I'm curious to see what the browser does.
Okay.
It could be they're having problems with their services. What charting app is that?
Trading view.
Okay. It's working in the browser.
Yeah, it's just lagging, taking for days. In the old days, we used to Take it if it wasn't working. Yeah. Give it a smack on the side. I actually used to have a TV as a kid, um, that we played like the Super Nintendo on, that sometimes would like the colors would go out. So you'd have to like smack the side hard as fuck to get the colors to turn back on. It's just trying its hardest to load here.
Do me a favor, and well, I don't remember the key combo. Hold on one second. Um, Press, I guess it would be Control, Control Alt C. No, I can't. I don't know what it would be on the Mac. I don't know Windows. I think it would be Control Shift C. Actually, right click on the window. Does a pop-up come up? No, on the window itself. No, yeah, on the window itself. Okay, so click in the window and click the three dots in the upper right corner. I'm pretty sure you can get it from there. And go to more tools. Inspect. Yeah, there's not going to give it to you, so you have to actually know the key sequence. Do me a favor. Go to the. You're going to have to look it up. Go to the view menu in the for the browser.
Where would that be at?
No, not in here. So click back in the window and then go to the view menu. So whatever the menu is at the top of Windows. No. Like the top of Windows, like the taskbar at the top of the. I guess it would normally be in there. I guess that's true. Okay, so let's think. Where would that be? Oh, the drop down. Do the drop down in the upper right, right next to the dash and the minimize. No, the little arrow up above that.
Oh, okay, right here.
No, that's just tabs. Dang, where would they put it? Okay, so let's just figure it. Actually, I'll just look it up. I'm sure I can find it. Inspect. Shortcut. Control Shift J. So click in the window, press Control Shift J. Okay. Click down on the bottom where it says console. Click console. No, hit console again. Hit escape. Okay, hit escape again. Why isn't that? Oh, you're in the console. Oh, there you go.
It's the port's closed.
Okay. Oh, that just means that it's not getting where it needs to go. Yeah, go ahead and hit refresh on that. Do Control Shift R in the page. Click in the page itself. And now hit Control Shift R. That forces a hard refresh. Open back. Hit escape again. I think it should. All right, click in. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so console. So console's empty. Yeah, they're having a problem with their service. This has not. I don't think this has anything to do with your internet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can't be 100% certain, but everything else on your computer appears to be working, and the stream is still going live, and you're running that off your computer, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, so then it's got to be something else.
That's fine. We can pull up. I'll pull it up on here. I'll just pull up the Bitcoin Let's look at it. We've got the NASDAQ down 1%, a little bit over 1% here. The Russell 0.39, the Dow barely red, the ES down about 0.5%, right? Because it's basing it off of the settle from Friday. Apple's still 1.19, Microsoft about 0.5%, Google 1.5%, Amazon a little bit over 1.5%, Tesla a little bit over 4.5%, and then Facebook's still looking okay. We can see the Bitcoin profile today. You know, this is in the cash. The hours are. Oh, this is, yeah, it's gonna have to stay like this. But yeah, so today, oh my. So today, mostly for Bitcoin, we can see that for the most part, we're seeing short covering. That move up from the open on Bitcoin is mostly short covering today as the profile starting to form a peak. Even though the open was here, it kind of tested below and is now kind of coming back up. So actually, I wouldn't say this is a P profile, even though it does look like a P profile. I thought I saw the open a little bit lower. I thought I saw the open down here, but the open is actually here. And so really it was like a look below and then hold B, hold C, hitting J coming down here. You still have all this excess left on Bitcoin. That'll be key to watch throughout the day. Try the desktop version of, that's what I was using first, was the desktop version. The desktop version stopped working, so I switched to the browser, and then the browser wasn't working either. If it comes back on, I'll let you guys know. I thought it was my internet just because I'm having trouble loading other websites as well, it seems. Yeah, I wonder what the market's trying to do here. It's just being like worthless. Oh, delayed data. Oh, my Thinkorswim's not working either. Let me close it. Twitter's not working. Nothing's working. Well, I guess we could just call it here. It's 10 o'clock. The market's not really doing much. We might not get much movement until the Fed meeting. You know, just because, you know, people don't know what to expect, so they don't really know what he's going to be getting on, and it would make sense if they just kind of wait to get some guidance from Powell. So we'll see if he says anything interesting tomorrow. He might say nothing. Maybe he'll say some bullish stuff. Maybe he won't. it really just depends. As far as the day goes on, right, I still think that this is going to be the key level to try to get above and hold if we want to see any more upside. Remember that the market overall sentiment, at least for me, is thinking to the buy side. It seems like more people are out there comfortable with the buy side just because that's what the tone has been on all of the videos that I've seen this weekend, saying that this is a buyable dip. Until we get above that 40.38, I won't be convinced, and then really above that 70 is when I'll really start to get convinced that buyers are actually showing up in force. You know, this is one of those times where it's nice to just be a day trader, because you don't really have to decide, you know, what stocks you're going to be jumping into right now, hoping for the next couple of days to come there's going to be some upside. We do have some earnings in some of our value plays today. I think Walmart, I mean, maybe not today, but this week, Walmart, Target, Home Depot, some of those names. So those will be interesting to watch. I do have a long on Walmart that's still going. Doesn't expire till July though, so I'll probably just hang on to that for a while. Other than that, right, the market is inside of Friday's range. We're going to be watching this pullback in J for the rest of the day, which is around that 74 level, 76. The previous day's low is also down here, right, about 59. And then don't forget about this previous low over here at 49.70. You may see some action down there. It happens to be a low, and then kind of the balance low if we were to smash these three TPOs together, right? So just something to pay attention to, something to look out for. Inside days, typically, especially small inside days, can really start to trend. So just be careful while fading the edges. Don't just decide that, oh, this thing's going to bounce back or it's going to start to go. Just be careful with all those trades today. Like I said, the volume today is about 16% so far less than Friday, and Friday was 16% less than Thursday. Thursday is the day that we made that swing low. And in order to break that low, typically we'll need to see some more volume kick on. If we take a peek around the market real quick, I'm just going to look on my phone because my internet is being worthless. Yeah, Nasdaq's still down over 1%. Dow's about flat. Russell is about down 0.5%. Bonds are up. Gold's up. Oil's up to 113. PLT's up, but not really making any significant progress. The VIX is down 28.30, down about 2%. Apple's still down a little bit over 1%. The dollar is actually down today. That's another thing I was talking about tracking, is that dollar, and then also the yen. The yen looked like it might get a little bit of upside, and if the dollar continues to pull back, that yen will probably work out well. And then if the dollar does continue to pull back, definitely peek at the euro as we go forward. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure that you are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan, and I will catch you guys later.